Hi, welcome to week 6 of History 311. I hope you had a great time at the Art Museum on Friday. I know that we did. My family really enjoyed it. I got a chance to see some of you and your families, and that was awesome. Okay, so what I thought I would do is this week explain the discussion questions and put it on YouTube, because some of you, it's easier if you hear me talking about what you need to do rather than just reading it on the website. So here goes. Alright, first of all, what I want you to do is, like we normally do, you're going to come over to the week 6 folder. When you look at week 6, you're going to notice that there's really two parts of the assignment this week. The first part is called Playing Politics, and that's going to be located in the groups page. We'll talk about that first. Okay, so let's go ahead and we can, let me walk you through this. Basically, what I want you to do is I want you to experience really the political process by pretending to become a part of it. Week 7 in class, I'm going to have you and your group members present to our class, which we'll call the legislature, a bill that you would like to see become a law. And rather than having you make up some fictional bill about video cameras in schools or what banks shouldn't be able to charge insufficient funds drafts, I'm going to actually have you use real bills, what we call in social studies primary sources, in order to come up with your little presentation for our class. Basically, what I want you to do first is I want you to go to this website. Make sure, Laura, they can see this. Okay, so right-click on it, go open a new window, and you're going to come up to the Michigan Legislature website. Alright, so what you'll be doing for this, and the directions are located all on Blackboard again, is clicking on Bills. Then you're going to go look at the bills by committee, and you're going to choose from one of these committees. I'm going to choose Education because I think that's interesting and easy to use. Okay, so I'm going to look at the different education bills that are available here. And all these are actual real bills right now that our Michigan legislatures said congresspeople are actually working on. They work in committees, just like your groups, and they put together a bill or a proposal, and that bill gives us an idea of what could be a possible law. Alright, so all of these, now some of these have actually already been voted on, and they actually are in fact laws now because they've passed both the House and the Senate in Michigan. So let me find one that I think would be interesting to you. Okay, I'm going to pick House Bill HB 4180 of 2011. Let me click on that and I'll show it to you. Now there's two different ways that you can look at it, and I'll ignore everything down here. What this is basically telling you is that this bill has passed the House, it's passed the Senate, and now we're going to have a bill that's combined from both the House and Senate versions. Let's click on the PDF. When I click on the PDF, this document pops up, and it basically has all the verbiage, the explanation of this bill. And what this one basically says is that school districts or public schools, academies, have to require that there's instruction on health provided to all students grades 3 through 12 at least 3 times a school year, and that person has to be licensed under the Public Health Code as a dietitian or nutritionist. So I think that's a really good idea. I think kids in those grades would definitely benefit from talking about health and nutrition, and especially from somebody who knows what to do. So I would perhaps choose that bill as something that I think my group could work on. So we would then represent a committee from the education department that would be presenting this bill in our class week 7. And basically what will happen week 7 is I'll call for the chairperson of the committee to come forward, the whole group will stand up, and that chairperson will explain why they think that this bill should become a law. We'll actually pretend to be the politicians, and that's why we call this week Playing Politics. Okay, so let's come on back to Blackboard. Alright, so now here's actually what's going to be happening during the week. On Wednesday, the first thing you need to do is nominate one person to be the committee chairperson. Alright, so this person is going to make sure that everybody posts to the group. They can use that communication link under Student Tools to contact people who don't post to the groups. And this person is really going to be the one who leads the discussion that we have in the class about whether or not their bill should become a law. Okay? That's the first thing on Wednesday, is nominating a group. The second thing is all of you need to be looking at different bills and deciding what kind of committee do you want to be. Do you want to be an education committee, an agricultural committee? And then what kind of bills do you think that you should have? Should you have the bill like I just showed you, where the nutrition and health information would be presented 3 times a year? Or do you find another bill that's interesting and you think that you should that should become a law? So basically, everyone in the group is going to A, nominate the group leader, the chairperson, and B, post up different bills and a brief explanation of why they think this would be a good bill to work with. By Thursday, you're going to move on to the next task. After you've decided which bill would become a law, you're going to come up here to the Bill Fast Fact Sheet. We're going to open that guy up. This will open in Word, and it basically gives an explanation of all the different parts of the Fast Fact Sheet that needs to be filled out. The bill, the summary, is just how you would explain the bill to all of us. Don't use technical terms and don't copy and paste from the bill because some of them are very lengthy. The one I showed you was short, but there are other ones. But just in your own word, what is this bill about? Target group. What kind of people would be affected? In my example, who would have been affected? Schools, kids that are in schools, possibly parents, even diet and nutritionists who would have gotten those jobs to go into the schools and talk about this kind of information. Benefits. Why do you think that this bill is good? What about it would benefit us as a society? Now, you can use your internet, you can use your own knowledge, but you can even make this up. Think creatively about why you could persuade us as a legislator to vote for your bill. Failure to act. What will happen if we don't do this? Like, for example, I would talk about how the obesity rate keeps increasing in our country, and if we don't educate young children, we're in big trouble. We're well on the way to having 100% obesity rate. All right, and then estimated cost. How much money would it take? Now again, many of you are going to have to make this up. So I would say, well, it would be relatively inexpensive if we're only doing it 3 times a year to bring those nutritionists into the school. And then lastly, funding. Can you think of a way that you could finance your bill? Like, for example, maybe I could have a little tax on the vending machines that are in schools and then use that money from that tax to pay for the dietitians and nutritionists to come into the schools. Again, you don't know, just make it up. Okay, so basically, everybody needs to pick a part of the bill, of this Fast Fact Sheet to fill out. One person can do the summary, one person can do the benefits, another person can do failure to act. Each group actually has 6 or 7 group members assigned, so there's enough that each person should be able to do their own section of this Bill Fast Fact Sheet. Once you've decided who's going to do what, you're ready to post. Come down to groups, click on your appropriate group, click on your group discussion board, click on playing politics. At this point, of course, you would have already posted who was the chairperson, gotten ideas for the bills, and now you'd actually be ready to post the sections of the bills. And then one more thing to keep in mind is by Friday, the chairperson needs to take all those different sections that have been posted for the Bill Fast Fact Sheet and merge them all into one completed post. So you would be able then to stand up in class week 7 and do a pretty compelling presentation about your bill. You'd be able to persuade all of us why it's a good idea, and then we as a class will vote on whether or not your bill becomes a law. Okay, and that leads us to the second part of the Blackboard Week, and that's the Art Alive discussion. While you were at the museum, you should have completed your Art Alive, and that discussion is actually going to just take place on the regular discussion board. You're going to click there, go to the Art Alive forum, and by Saturday I'd like you to post up a copy of Art Alive, and then sometime between Saturday and Sunday, read and respond to somebody else's Art Alive posting. And that concludes our explanation of this week's discussion questions. I hope that listening to me orally really cleared this up for you, and I hope we have a great week on Blackboard. Have a wonderful day.